Hi guys, welcome to Legality Viability. So we have come up with yet another video in the series of education videos. So in this video we are going to talk about business organizations and the type of business organizations. So the video for this topic is divided into two parts. So this is part 1. So let's get started. So the term business organization describes how businesses they are structured and how this structure it helps them meet their goals. So generally businesses are designed to focus on either generating profits or improving society. So that means that the term business organization it refers to how a business is structured. It may refer to a commercial or an industrial enterprise and the people who constitute it. What are the different types of business organizations? So in this video we are going to study about 5 types of business organizations. Sole proprietorship, then partnership firm, then corporation, joint Hindu family business and cooperative society. In addition to understanding their basic meanings, we are also going to talk about their characteristics, their advantages and also their disadvantages. Sole proprietorship, so it means that sole proprietorship is a form of business in which only one person is solely responsible for everything, as he owns and manages the enterprise by himself. So when the ownership and management of a business they are in control of only one individual, the form of business is called as sole proprietorship. It is also known as individual entrepreneurship as it is exclusively carried by one person. So in this kind of business, only one person, he is in complete control of that company or that business. On to its characteristics. So sole proprietorship is owned by only one individual, like we read in its meaning. So also that one individual, he is the manager of that business. Then that owner is the only source of capital, so he alone contributes the capital and the skills that are required in the business. So he contributes the capital, he manages everything, he provides all the required skills. Also he is the supreme judge of all the matters. That is because he decides all the issues that are pertaining to his business. About the advantages of this type of business: no government regulations, easy formation. So that means that this form of business, it is easy to establish as there are less formalities involved. Then one man control, since it is controlled by only one man, so the decisions taken they are very prompt, they are very quick, and as there is no need to consult and seek approval from any other partner, any other person. Then there is no separate entity of the business, so there is no separate legal entity of the business. There is only one person, there is only one identity of that person who is the sole proprietor of that business. Then not subject to corporate income tax. Since there is no separate entity which is created for the business, that means the person has set up the business on his own, he is the sole proprietor. That means he will not be charged with a separate corporate income tax. Okay. Then he is also the owner of all the profits. So all the profits and the losses that he will incur on his business, he will be responsible for all those profits and losses. So the owner has unlimited liability. Unlimited liability, this is a major disadvantage because unlimited liability means in case the business is running into losses. Then in this case your private assets, it could be used to pay off your debts to the creditors. So this is a major disadvantage, like I said. Then difficult to raise capital and limited funds. Since there is only one owner of this business, he is the sole proprietor. So he is the only one who is investing in this business. He is only the one who is investing his capitals and all the funds that he has. So due to which he might have at some point of time limited financial resources, as a consequence of which it could be possible that there will be a limited scope for growth of his business and it might not be able to expand. Then uncertainty of business. Like I said, if you do not have enough resources, so it could be possible you don't know how long your business will survive, for how long you will be able to raise funds for the same. So the time period for the business is not decided. It could be for a small period of time or it could be for a long duration. So it depends upon the life of the owner. Then similarly, another disadvantage is that it is difficult to do business beyond a certain size. It could be a small business, it could not be a big business, it depends on the owner. Next form of business organization that we are going to study about is joint Hindu family business. So you might have studied about it in family law. If not, then you might study about it later. So in this type of business, basically what happens is, if you are born in a certain family who is doing a particular kind of business, that you might end up carrying it forward. So this type of business, it comes into existence as per the Hindu Inheritance Act of India. So the membership in this type of business organization, it can be acquired only by birth or by a marriage to a male person who is already a member of the joint Hindu family. So it's not like you can anytime be a member of this type of family business. Since it is a joint Hindu family business, either you require membership by birth or if you're married to any person from that family. Characteristics of joint Hindu family business. So this form of business, it is only found in India. Then all the members of the joint Hindu family business, they own the business jointly. That means they are joint owners in the family business. Then membership is restricted only to members of the joint family. That means that no outsider can be a part of the joint family business. Like I said, only by birth or by marriage you could be a part. You could be a member of this family business. Then Karta has implied authority. So who is a Karta? A Karta is a manager of the joint family. So basically he is the head and all the affairs of the family are managed by him. So all the other members except for the Karta, they are known as co-partners. So since Karta, he is the head and he decides everything, so the authority of the Karta, it is implied. Okay. Then the shares of the members keep on fluctuating. Which shares are we talking about? We are talking about the shares of inheritance. So whatever share they get in inheritance, all the members, it keeps on fluctuating. So there is no fixed share. It means that, for example, if one of the members of the joint Hindu family dies, okay, so obviously whatever share was allotted to him earlier will now be divided, and this way the share of other members might increase. So the share keeps on fluctuating and there is no particular share of inheritance. Advantages of joint Hindu family business. Every co-partner has an assured share in profits. So every surviving co-partner in a family business, he definitely has an assured share in whatever profits their business incur. The business has continued existence. We say this because it is possible that this form of family business, it may be in existence for a permanent period, because in such businesses death, lunacy or insolvency does not affect the family business. So it may be for permanent existence, as it can be carried on by any member of the family. Then decision making is prompt, as the powers are with the Karta. Decision making is quick. Because powers are with the Karta, we say this because the Karta, he is the only person who exercises control over the family and he directs everything over the business. So he may not consult anyone in taking any decision. He might ask for their opinion, but his decision is final at last. So these decisions, since it is taken only by him, so they are taken quickly. So decision making is prompt, as the powers are with the Karta. No corporate tax. We say this because since it is a family business owned by the family, so there is no special separate entity of this business, so they do not have to pay any corporate tax for this business. Disadvantages. Absolute authority of the Karta. So in a joint family, since only Karta has the authority to contract any debts and also to pledge the credit and property of the business of the family for any ordinary purposes. This authority, absolute authority provided to the Karta, it can lead to misuse of power by him. Okay, then instability is also a disadvantage in a sense that growth and expansion of the business, it is uncertain to an extent that as every activity that is conducted in the business is within the family itself. Then the possibility of conflict among members of the family, which is very apparent, since it is the businesses between the family, it is bound to have some conflicts between the members. Limited sources of capital. The capital is limited only to the resources which the family can provide, all the funds that the family that exist in the family. So the capital is limited only up to the resources of one family. So they might at a point of time not be sufficient to meet certain needs in the family business. So that is why it is said that there is limited sources of capital. So guys, that's all. This was part 1 of the topic. In the next part, we are going to study about the other forms of business organizations, that is cooperative society, corporation and partnership firm. Please do watch the other part to know about its meaning, its characteristics, advantages and disadvantages. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and share Legality Viability.